Hello friends, this lecture is in continuation with your lecture series of tractors and heavy earth moving machineries. This lecture is to be taken on 30th March 2020 in your lecture timing 3 to 4. We all know that we have started the unit number 6. So in the unit number 6 we have till now completed the bulldozer, the front end loader, the crawlers. Now today we are doing the cranes. The major component of today is the cranes. It's different components than the types of cranes that we are discussing. So I'll start with the crane. You might have seen this image earlier. At many of the construction sites you might have seen this thing. So this is a type of a crane. There are a range of cranes are available, but this is how we are using it and why we are using it. This is mostly used in your construction sites. In industry, in the heavy industries, or you can say the bigger industries, they are using the cranes. The overhead cranes are there, the gantry cranes are there. There are a lot of cranes, but majorly we use this in the constructional sites. So it's a crane is an item of plant intended for raising or lowering a load and moving it horizontally. This crane having the two purpose to sort out. Through this hook, it is attached with the component or the material or the part. Then due to this hydraulically controlled jib, it is moved from one point to another point through the tires. There are different, according to the application, there are different kind of cranes are available, but it is used to carry the load and move it horizontally, vertically to a different location. So what are the major components of the crane? So on the right side you might have seen this image. There are some of the parts have been shown, named as 1 2 3 1 2 to 7. Then the definitions of each component is given onto the left, which is the mast. So you can say the 6th number is the mast. This is the mast which is actually carrying the load. The main supporting tower of the crane, it is made of the steel truss. You might have seen there are V-shaped truss structure is available. This is actually the cylinder member of the jib which is actually carrying your load. All of the stresses are maintained. The force is equally distributed in all of the mechanical element. This is the same structure that you might have seen on the rail bridges. So you might have seen this structure. The cylinder mechanical members are available on there also. So this is to carry the load or the stresses. So majority of the maximum load is onto this stem or the mast. Then you have seen the next component is the slewing unit. The slewing unit is the base component just above the tires where the operator is sitting, where all the controls are available. There that is called your slewing unit. It is a unit sits at the top of the mast, means the base of the mast, and this is the engine that enables the crane to rotate. Here this can rotate 360 degrees. The slewing unit can rotate it 360 degree and having the engine to move it horizontally to any place. Then there's an operating cabin. So above the slewing unit there's an operating cabin. In this operating cabin every indicator is available, your control is available, majorly your clutches are there, your handles are there through which you are controlling the up and down movement, horizontal movement, vertical movement and load taking capacity. So there you can see there are the things like the load movement indicator, whether it is moving. This is the main thing is the anemometer. This anemometer is actually measuring the velocity of air, because when a heavy load is moving up and down, vertically up and down, so the air plays a major role into it. So if the air is moving so fastly, they do not let the crane take the load. That's why this is actually the safety measure. Then the operating cabin, then we are having a jib. You can see this is a 5th number. This 5th is the jib. So as you can see, the number 5 is your jib in the diagram. So this is actually the operating arm which extends horizontally from the crane. There are two kind of jibs are available. The first one is luffing jib and second one is a fixed jib. Luffing jib is having the ability to move the load up and down, means vertically movement, and a fixed jib can only have a movement in the horizontal direction in any direction in the horizontal. Then we are having a counter jib. Counter jib is actually is holding the counterweight. That's why its name is counter chip, which is carrying your hoist motor, hoist drum, and the electronics. What is hoist motor? Motor that is able to roll your winch, your ropes, or the chains in the case. And drum is that part on which your rope is collected, and that is the electronics, the electronic part which is used to control your hoist movement or the jib movement. Then after that, the next important part is hoist winch. Winch is the assembly consists of hoist, winch itself, motor and gearbox. This hoist is responsible to move your load up and down, because the motor available is to just collect the rope around here, winch the rope around here, around the drum, and moves your load up and down. So many tower cranes has a transmission. Why? What is the use of transmission? Transmission used, it is moving your up and down movement at a faster rate or at a slower rate. So maybe one or two gears are provided to move up and down. Then there's a hook. Hook is actually part where your component is attached with the crane. That is a hook. Then we are having the weights. Weights is just to counter your load. If it is carrying your load here at a number 4, say here at a number 4 is a counterweight. At a number 4, if your load is there, then a counterweight is provided over here, or sometimes over here also if the load is greater over here. Then so that your crane should be in stable position. You might have seen the videos where the mishappenings are there. This is just because of the counterweight is not balanced, or maybe you are using your crane more than its limit, more than the required limit. So these are the main components. Now the next topic is the types of cranes. There are many types of cranes are available for the construction work, for the agricultural work, and for the industry. But the main cranes are over here, which are used everywhere. So there are 5 majors are there. There are truck mounted, rough terrain, crawler, floating, and tower cranes. So I'll discuss only 2 to 3 today. The first one is truck mounted. So I'll show you firstly the figure over here. This is a truck mounted. Why it is called truck mounted? Because a truck is there on which you can load your crane, and it can be carried away to any location easily. Correct. So he says that it has been 2 major parts. The first one is the carrier. Carrier is the lower part. This thing is called your carrier. The engine is there, and it can move your crane horizontally to any direction. And there's an upper part. The upper part which is responsible to give the vertical movement of your component. Then it is responsible, the upper part is responsible for the lifting. Then there's a mated together through a turntable. What is turntable? Turntable is this place where your horizontal movement or your lower part and upper part is connected, so that your lift can rotate clockwise or anti-clockwise on this turntable. Then there's a modern hydraulic truck cranes are usually single engine machines. What are the single engine machines? Those machines in which the horizontal movement of the truck as well as the vertical movement of your crane is given by a single engine. The single engine powering the undercarriage. What is that undercarriage? Undercarriage is this part. This part is undercarriage, which is not used to lift the things. But upper part, this carriage is this thing which is responsible to carry the lifting the parts. Then upper part is usually powered by a hydraulic run through the turntable from the pump mounted on the lower. So pump is mounted on the lower part, but is used to pressurize this cylinder and moves the crane upward. This is telescopic beam. So what is telescopic beam? It is a kind of antenna. You might have seen a car antenna which can be collapsed and enlarged accordingly. So similarly, the telescopic beams are used there. The operator cap, the elevating cylinder, we all know about it. Then the outrigger. Outrigger is again an important part of a crane. Why? Because it provides you the stable base so that you can carry the load in upward direction. This is called outrigger. This one. There are 4 outrigger, which is 2 are on the back side. Then the next is your rough terrain. Rough terrain is again in the truck mounted, there are more than 4 tires are there, but in this case there are 4 tires are there in the rough terrain. Rough terrain is used for those places where it is difficult to approach, where the off-road pick and carry operation, when the off-roadings are there, so you will use there the rough terrain. It is having a outriggers which is to stabilize the crane, to level the crane. Then the engine is usually mounted on undercarriage. Again, on the lower part the engine is provided. Most have 4-wheel drive and 4-wheel steering for traversing tighter and slicker terrain. He says that 4-wheel drive systems are there, which is giving us more power so that we can haul the things, we can carry the things, and it is also having a 4-wheel steering. 4-wheel steering means you can rotate your crane easily in any direction with a tighter and slicker terrain, means where it is difficult to do that, or maybe the accidental things are there, so you can use it easily there. So the rough terrain. Then the third one is your crawler. Crawler cranes, you might have seen there's a crawler. Instead of tires we are using the crawlers here, and you know the advantages of crawlers, that they do not sink into the grounds, they are having heavy traction, they can carry the load easily, and counterweights are already provided there. A crawler crane has its boom mounted on the undercarriage fitted over here, you can say, with a set of crawler tracks that provide both stability and mobility. These things provide stability and mobility. The main advantage is the ready mobility. You can use it anywhere with any kind of load it can use, and it is so stable that even if the carrying load, it doesn't move, it doesn't slide, it doesn't skid. But the disadvantages is that it is very difficult to carry this crane to one location to the another location, because it doesn't move at its own. Its moving speed is very less, but it has to carry, the whole crane has to carry on a truck, and it is to be shipped to another places. So this is all of today. These are the 3 major types of cranes we discussed here. Remaining types we'll discuss in the next class. So if you wanted to learn, see my previous lectures, you must subscribe my channel Tiny Steps and watch the videos. It is must for you.